Well, we just moved into the condo and we still got fruit basket upset. Obviously, look at this. We don't have a couch here yet. We don't have a TV here yet. We were talking about putting this upstairs. This is kind of cool. It's a little electric fireplace, and then it has a red burner that heats up right here, and it says it'll heat up to 1,000 square feet. Look at that. And you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the heater, you can put a timer on it, all that. And this is an insert that fits in there. You've seen them probably. Doesn't that look kind of cool? It looks nice. It looks nice at night. Okay, turn that off, and we might be putting that in front of the bed upstairs. I think we're going to be doing that. But speaking of just moving in, we had a leak dripping out of the ceiling right here a couple nights ago, and I could not believe it. I'm in there taking a bath and had the jacuzzi things on the existing bathtub, and she's yelling at me, "Hey, come down here, we got a flood, we got water coming all over the place." And I was expecting all this stuff, but it was dripping right out of here. Right there, you can see there's a little hairline crack there. Here's a little hairline crack. And right there, this was all puffed up. The seam here kind of started lifting right there, and it started bubbling here. And the water was dripping out of there. Splashing here, was getting wet over here. And I'm pretty sure it was coming from the tub. But you know, the tub is nowhere close to here. And I'll just show you what's going on here. Well, I'm gonna have to fix it. I'm not quite sure. I kind of have a good idea of how I'm gonna fix it, but it might entail cutting open some sheetrock and stuff. And see, here's the tub. This is a cool tub too, by the way. It's an oversized tub. It's about 5 feet. Most tubs are about 5 feet long. This one happens to be almost 6 feet. It's 5 feet 10 inches from tile to tile. 5 foot 10 inches, and it can fit both Mommy and I. She sits one way, I sit the other way. We turn the jets on, and we had this thing fired up for 5 or 6 nights before it started dripping. And when I was running the drain, she was out there yelling. And I think what's happened is there's a leak down by the drain, along the edge, or the fitting that this screws into, or the elbow down below. It must be spraying on top of the ceiling, or a top plate, or the bottom of the floor joist, and there could be a floor joist that runs this way. And over 5 or 6 bathtubs, you remember, here's the bathtub, and here's the stairs that go down over there, boom, 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 and it's dripping right in here. Drip, 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 drip. Because see, here's where the stairs go down, okay? Right in there, dripping from the tub. Can you believe that? And you know, when we have the water off, there's nothing happening. It's not dripping any other time. When we have the sinks on, when we flush the toilet, nothing drips. When I'm draining that thing, it seemed like that's when it was dripping. And so I think the first night maybe it was dripping and it got wet to here. Then the next night, because that was wet, it got wet a little bit further, and then a little bit further. It took 4 or 5 nights for it to start dripping out here. Kind of like a sponge. You know, when a sponge gets wet, it just kind of soaks and expands, kind of like particle board. When you get a leak on particle board, it goes so far, and then the next time it goes a little bit further and a little bit further. And I think that's what's happened. Now I can take this front cover off. This is just fiberglass. See this? But I can't reach down there, and I don't think I can fix it from there. And directly below that bathroom is, we'll take you down here, is the other bathroom. And this, by the way, I thought I was going to have to scrape all this off and cut a hole in here and all that kind of stuff. But I think I can do everything back in here, back in behind the bathroom. Just because you get a leak, don't just start thinking you have to cut this open right here. And speaking of that, this was all puckered and stuff, and after most of the water stopped dripping, I took a paper towel, damped this as dry as I could, and then I pushed everything back up, and then I dried it with my paper towel and kept putting pressure on there and stuff. And believe it or not, all the paint that curled down and the sheetrock mud and all that kind of stuff pushed all back up there. And I thought, okay, when it dries, I think it's going to stick. You should have seen this when it was all wet and puckered. Had I have left it alone and it had it dried, there's no way I could have pushed it all back up there. It doesn't even look like anything happened. In fact, I could almost put a little bit of caulking here, a little bit there, a little bit there, if that never leaks there again. And I don't think it's going to. And I think, because see here, you remember from there, boom, 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 the tub spout is right over there where the drain is. And I don't think I have to cut a hole in the sheetrock ceiling here in the kitchen. I think I can come up in here, and I was thinking, oh, okay, well, worst case scenario, if I have to cut a hole in the sheetrock ceiling, okay, I can do that. But see, there's an exhaust fan up in here, and lots of times you can take the guts out of a ceiling exhaust fan, and this ceiling exhaust fan might be screwed in or nailed or something. I might be able to carefully take the screws out or nails out or something, lift that whole thing up, slide it out of the way. Obviously, it's got the flex vent line hooked to that. I got to be careful with that. Okay, then I can use this as my inspection hole. I can shine a flashlight up there, poke my head up in there or something. I think I can get my head up in there. It's going to be tight, and I might be able to shine a light and look up there and make a determination what I think I need to do before I start cutting holes. Okay, and that's going to be a work in progress. I'll show you more of that another time when I start working on it. But like I say, just because it was dripping over here, don't think, okay, call a plumber, call somebody else. They could start cutting holes out here, and then you can find out, hey, maybe it's coming from over here. So sit and calm down and take note of what everything is happening and inspect and think about what's going on. Because if I can fix it over here, I won't have to do anything. It took 5 days draining out the tub for the water to hit over here. Now, we haven't used the tub for a couple days. This will all start drying out above the sheetrock. You want to have that dry. You don't want to have that moist and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be okay to leave this alone because it was just dripping out of there. It wasn't like pouring out, you know what I mean? And so it should have enough time for all that to dry without having mold start building up there and growing and all that kind of stuff. I think the water is going to dry enough so that there won't be any mold buildup. Okay, and once I get an inspection hole here, I can look in here, kind of feel around, and look and see if there's any mold that's built up above this ceiling or what have you. Now, see, this ceiling is 8-foot ceiling. This is a 9-foot ceiling, and so I know when I take that out, the tub is up another foot higher than this ceiling because it was dripping out over here, right? And so, you know, the floor joists are probably, you know, TGI floor joists 12 inches tall or something like that. So the tub is up there higher, but then the spout or the drain line comes down a little bit lower, you know, where it connects down into the line in the floor and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I think there's got to be a floor joist or something going this way, or it could be dripping right on top of the wall, because when I measured it and lined this up, see that wall right there? See, that's the wall. Look at that, how that wall goes up there. And if you line that up straight over, it's almost in line with that tip there. And water has a funny thing. It goes to the least resistant area. Okay, so if there was a sheetrock seam somewhere else, it would have started coming out. But this is probably all big piece of sheetrock going all the way across, and the water could have dripped on top of this top plate of this wall, okay? And then it could have ran on top of that plate, and then at that point, it dipped down on top of this sheetrock. It hasn't come out anywhere because this is just a flat piece of sheetrock. There's no seam on it or anything. If there was a cross seam right in here, I would have seen the ceiling start puckering there or something. So the water is traveling and it's tried to come out, and it came right out from there because that's where the corner bead is from this angle, and it just started dripping there. And then this, like I say, this started lifting, and in fact, you can see a hairline crack there now. See it? Right along there. That's where it started dripping here, and then you could see the water traveling that way and breaking that apart. And I'm hoping, like I say, I don't have to do anything with that. I can see where the crack is right there, and it goes that direction. That crack wasn't there before it started leaking. Son of a gun. But I might be able to caulk that, you know, and that and this, and not have to do anything until over there. And like I say, if I have to cut that sheetrock ceiling open, I'll do it in the bathroom, okay? Because then it's just a small bathroom ceiling that I would have to repaint. And this has spray texture on it, and I'm not good with matching spray texture too well. I was thinking about even floating out this entire ceiling, just smooth. You know, no spray texture at all. I could put 2 coats of sheetrock mud on there, sand it, and then paint it without trying to patch the texture or paying somebody to come out here just to spray texture a patch. And the thing is, when you spray texture a patch, you are always going to see the patch. I don't care who it is who patches your ceiling of spray texture, you are going to see it to a certain extent, even for somebody who's really super good. Okay? And what they might even suggest is, you know, if there's a big old patch here, a 2x2 hole or something, they may say, hey, go ahead and skim out the entire ceiling. Then if you're gonna spray texture the ceiling again, instead of doing a patch, why not think about this small little ceiling here and skimming out this ceiling, re-spray texturing this entire ceiling. Then you won't even see the patch. You see what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have to repaint this entire ceiling. Anyways, I wouldn't suggest patching a hole over here and then just painting the ceiling patch. It just never works, trust me. Okay? And so I'd rather do that out there, in there, rather than out here. Can you see, if I did a patch over here, why do a patch over here if I can do the patch over there, right? Because then it would be very difficult to patch this, texture it to match the spray texture that's up here, and then repaint that patch. And where am I going to stop? If I repainted just that area there, okay, maybe it doesn't blend in with everything else. And usually when I do a patch on a ceiling, I'll repaint the ceiling. But look where the ceiling ends. Look at this. It goes all the way out to here. I'd have to repaint this entire ceiling all the way down the hallway and everything not to see that patch over there. I mean, that's how I would do it if I had to have a patch over there. Because if you will remember, if you've seen all the different things I had to do in this kitchen ceiling, initially it came out this way and across this way with semi-gloss paint over here. And I didn't want semi-gloss paint. And this was flat paint over here, but it was a different color. So I put a coat of primer on there. I put a coat of Kills primer on there, and I put a coat of flat paint, and then I put 2 coats of finished flat paint over the whole thing. This area right in here has 4 coats of paint on it. So if you do a little patch on the side, you really think you're gonna blend that in, I'd think twice about it. Okay, so enough of that. I will show you my progress on that leak underneath the bathtub in a minute. One last thing. Had I really been smart, I would have ran the tub again, run it through the motions, turn the motor on, turned the jets on, and shined a flashlight in here and stuff. But I was so sure that it was on the drain. My loss is your gain. Don't make the assumption, okay? Because I made the assumption. I mean, worse. The only thing I had to do was I had to pull that exhaust fan apart, and now I have to fix it. But a couple hours worth of work, and I'll be good to go. But I could have saved my time. I didn't really have to pull that exhaust fan cover apart or anything, did I? Had I just been more mindful of looking around, shining the flashlight in there, run it through a cycle and all that, and make a determination then. But I was so hard pressed on thinking that was coming from the drain, and oh no, I don't want to fill this up, because if I fill this up, then I can't drain it. If I drain it, then the water's going to come out again. We're going to have a mess again, and then I might not be able to get that sheetrock patch put back together where the water was dripping and stuff. So in my mind, it was like, I don't want to put any water in here. No, I was fighting that. But that's the only way you're going to know 100% for sure. And if it would have started dripping again, like I said, I could have shut this off down there, bailed this out with water, with a 5-gallon bucket or something like that. I mean, there's always, and sponge out the rest of it at the end. There's always some way to do it. But hey, I got kind of ahead of myself, and now I've cut the ceiling fan, or the exhaust fan apart and stuff. But hey, I can fix that. That's not that big of a deal. But I'm so glad I didn't go any further than that to cut out any sheetrock anywhere, like I was telling you. Now I know I went on and showed you all kinds of different things, but the more I talk, the more you have the possibility to learn. So hopefully when you watch one of my videos, watch it the whole thing through, because you never know what I'm going to say. I never know what I'm going to say. Okay? But I'm sure you'll be able to pick up snippets along the way about, wow, I'm glad I watched that whole thing, because I wouldn't have known 3 minutes into it, 4 minutes into it, I was going to learn something that I really needed to know. Thanks, Video Joe.